Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mastering Mindfulness for Educators. And this is going to be an amazing session. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. Yes, we do have an evaluation and you do get a CEU CLU certificate, but only if you're watching us live. So if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, you don't get that certificate, but you do get the amazing resources. So if you scroll down right underneath the video, you'll see the description. If you click show more, you'll see the links to the amazing resources that you can use and get. Who am I? I'm Dr. Desiree Alexander. I am the founder, CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting. Hey, everybody. This is how you can contact me. My Twitter, my Facebook, my YouTube channel. You're on it right now if you're watching the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you can make sure to get notified anytime we put amazing videos on the YouTube channel. What is coming up next weekend? We have two amazing webinars. We have the hands-on Adobe Spark. So if you came to the Adobe Spark one earlier today, this one next weekend is going to be hands-on. You're actually going to be creating. So that's going to be really, really fun. And then we have the amazing Sarah coming back to do an intro to We video. You do not want to miss that. Then we have two brand new webinars in December. So a lot of you have not seen these yet. So Saturday, December 5th, we have Adjusting ELA Lessons in a 4x4 World for High School Teachers. Make sure that you get on that. And the next one, I haven't even promoted yet. You're seeing this for the first time. Writing, coding, and sharing for all grades with elementary. It is an amazing resource that helps your students actually create stories and write books, and they can actually use coding behind it to make the characters move and all that good stuff. So you do not want to miss this. All of these webinars can be registered at the exact same link at alex.net/events. And then I am speaking at ISTE 2020. I am a featured voice at this international conference. These are the sessions. You can find all of this information on the website. And yet again, we do have an evaluation at the end. And you may be like, Desiree, that's the link right there. It's not active. Duh. So it's going to be active 15 minutes before the session ends, and I'm going to post it in the chat, and that's when you can go and fill out the evaluation if you're watching us live. So guys, let me tell you something. I know why you're here, okay? I know you're not here for me. I understand. Hopefully you still love me, but Tanya's going to share her screen, and it's time for her to present because, again, even though you love me and you love my webinars and you love when I present, you're not here to see me. You're here to get that information about mastering mindfulness for educators. So I'm going to just shut my mouth, let her take it away. Thank you so much for gracing us, Tanya. We appreciate it. Make sure that you unmute yourself and you can get started.
Thank you so much, Desiree. I'm so excited to be here with you all. And so again, my name is Tanya Chapman Griffin, and I am very excited. I'm actually currently out of town at a conference to learn more about innovation and learning and teaching to reach our students. And so this is so important for me because you all this morning are a part of my self-care practice. So being able to talk more about self-care and do some of the things that we're going to go through today is actually going to help me get some self-care in on this this excursion I have for education. And then also I'd love some feedback. Please know that I am not a presenter where I do a lot of talking and you don't do any talking at all. I love feedback. I love back and forth. The chat box, like I tell Desiree, I want the chat box to be hot. It's a Saturday. Yeah, we are still learning, right, and preparing ourselves for more, but it's also a time for self-care. This is a time for us to get some information from one another, to share what works, what may not work, and to find things that fit you, that fit your lifestyle, fit your classroom, fit you as a parent, fit you as a wife or a husband or a partner, So make sure that you are open-minded, ready to get some things out of this. And as we started with the good music, I want to have a good time, Desiree. And so Desiree is going to assist me in watching the chat. And please, at any point, if you want to stop, talk through the chat or unmute yourself, I'm welcome to that. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Again, Tanya Chapman Griffin. I am a licensed prevention professional, and this presentation is Mastering Mindfulness, Recharging for Resiliency, because we all need consistent recharging at this point, right? So just a little bit about myself. Here is a picture of my sweet, sweet family. My husband, my 2 daughters. I have a 5-year-old who's turning 6 next week. She tells everybody she's 6.5. And then I have an 8-year-old at the bottom that's Layla and Lennox. And so for me, again, licensed prevention professional, I work in the East Baton Rouge Parish school system for a program called iCare. iCare focuses on drug, alcohol, and violence prevention education in the school system. And so we cover about 40,000 students, and we support all school counselors and all school buildings with educational resources, 3-tiered interventions such as Red Ribbon Week, different programs. We have team and tween spirit groups that we work with. And so we believe in peer-led prevention education, right? So empowering our students to be able to go back to their school buildings, recognize what school buildings need, and then giving them the tools to be able to help us to spread that information. And so it's really, really important. It's a heavy task, especially right now, because we're all virtual, in person, and then we all are dealing with our own issues and traumas and layers of different forms of grief. And so we work specifically towards that. On a personal note, I'm a certified Zumba fitness instructor. I'm also a certified work fitness instructor. And through this year, my husband and I have created Curvy Girl Dance and Fitness. And it is a fitness group where we get together, we do virtual Zumba classes, hip hop classes, stretch and tone. I even do senior citizen chair aerobics. And so I'll get more into that and how that birthed through the COVID. And we call this time the COVID. So I hope you all, think about that phrase for me, but that's just what we call the time. And we say it varying ways just to kind of be able to process and to deal with it. And so very excited again to share with you all this morning. And what I want for you to do for me is to put in the chat, what is your favorite song? I want to know what your favorite song is. You didn't see that coming, did you? What is your favorite song? I want to see it in the chat. And Desiree, will you please let me know what some of those selections are? I see them coming in too.
At Last by Etta James. I was about to start trying to sing it, but that would not have been good.
You can try if you want to now.
I'm not going to. So Can You Stand the Rain by New Edition?
Okay, yes. What else?
Renegade.
Oh, I'm not ready.
PYT.
Love it.
We were just about to play that this morning.
Michael Jackson. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Humble and Kind.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
The Greatest Love of All.
Oh, yes. Any more?
That is it for now. I'm Yours.
I'm Yours. Okay, thank
Anything
you.
by Prince.
Oh, I love Prince. So Desiree, when we get ready to deep belly breathe, I need you to find me a slow Prince song, okay?
Okay. Adele, Bounce version. Humble and Kind is a country song.
Oh, okay. Well, I love country music. I am
too.
currently in San Antonio, and I met a couple of cowboys and cowgirls. And so I'm going to have to look that one up. So thank y'all for sharing it. And so I did that because, number one, sometimes we have to break the chat box ice, kind of get warmed up, because sometimes when you come to presentations, you just want to sit and listen or really just put them on and walk away, right? And so I don't want that to be this kind of presentation. I want to keep you engaged. I want to make you smile, even though I can't see you right now. And I want to give valuable information and to get feedback from you as well. And so when we think about our favorite songs, or our favorite anything, what we have just done is we have created an opportunity for a small taste of mindfulness. Whatever you were focused on before, now you bring your focus to that particular song. And if it's your favorite song, as you type it or as you think about it, or as you think about a memory with the music, it makes your heart smile, right? And so that is just a small bit of mindfulness. So today, some objectives. We're going to discuss mindfulness and discuss why it is important. And it is very important, especially right now. We're going to identify mental and mindful self-care practices, right? Mental self-care and mindful self-care can be two different categories, and we want to focus on those. Discussing my new favorite term, radical self-care. We are in radical times that we have never encountered in our lifetime. And so we need to be radical about our own self-care practices, and we deserve that. We want to discuss mindfulness and mind-body connections. Mindfulness ties into what happens to our bodies, right? So that is it possible, this question, is it possible that if I am sick physically, does that affect my mind? And then if I am depressed or going through grief or trauma, does that affect my physical body? Well, is that a possibility that it connects to me being physically sick? We'll talk about that. And then, of course, identifying how mindful practices connect to resiliency. And so I love talking about this particular lesson with groups, because resiliency for me, when I think of the definition of resiliency, it is the ability to bounce back. So I put in the chat, I'm from Kenner, local New Orleans. I love bounce music. So Desiree, I think we have some people internationally who may not know about bounce music. So also possibly have a safe bounce song ready just for a little taste, okay? Just to make sure they can hear that.
Gotcha.
Wonderful. Did y'all know Desiree was a DJ? Dr. D DJ. Okay, so let's be ready for that. All right, and so Desiree, what's going on in the chat box? Because I see it lighting up. You want to share anything before we move on?
No, we are good to go.
Okay, great. Okay, so here we are with get ready, get set. And so everything that I shared today, you will be able to use in the classroom if you're a teacher, a parent at home. You'll be able to do this with your little ones or even your middle school or high schoolers, and also for yourselves. And so I want to make sure that I say that, because this is not just for the classroom, not just for you, but for everyone. Okay, and so let's first set our intentions. And so for me, can you please put in the chat, what are you looking to get out of this presentation? What are you looking to get out of the presentation? I told you all that I'm very excited to be here with you because I need self-care today, immediately. And so you all are going to be my self-care contributors, and I appreciate that already. And so let me know, what do you plan to get out of this presentation? And setting intentions is so important because you hone in specifically on what you intend to receive.
I want to say, first of all, thank you for modeling what you're telling us to do. Thank you so much. So the first thing, if you were going to bring this to your staff, is to set those intentions. Thank you so much for modeling. I see you. Okay, so we have learning self-care opportunities, a way to deal with chaos and stress, ideas to share with staff, new ideas for mindfulness, how to anchor myself with self-care in order to share with others in my network, how to ease anxiety. I feel like I can't breathe in the four walls of my classroom. Practical tips for incorporating mindfulness in daily busy life, how to help others while helping myself, remaining focused during a tough transition, learning how to practice self-care. You're getting a lot of feedback.
Okay, so I really appreciate all of that. And Desiree, thank you for saying that you hear me, because I want everybody to know that I hear you. So let me also tell you a little bit about myself. I actually started teaching post-Katrina. And so for my international people, Hurricane Katrina was life-changing for people in the Gulf of Mexico, the states along the Gulf of Mexico. And so my home received water. My mother and father moved in with me in Baton Rouge. I was not able to move back home for a job that I was looking forward to doing. And I wound up being asked to come and teach at a school because so many students from New Orleans were in this school and they needed additional support. And so I was not a teacher. I had not been trained to teach, but I felt as though I needed to do this honestly as a distraction from my pain. Okay. And so in doing that, I learned that through the pain, there was positivity that came from it because I was able to speak with students that sounded like me, that looked like me, and that I felt that needed me and I needed them just as much. And so in that, I taught a class of about 45 students. Desiree, my class was a business education class because I have an MBA. So they were like, well, you can teach computer because you have an MBA. And I was like, well, I don't know typing. So I also got there and realized I didn't have enough chairs and I didn't have enough tables and I didn't have computers to teach a computer class. So I had to be really, really creative. Does this sound familiar to any educators on the call? Have you ever been in a situation where you're I see it. You've been expected to teach a class of 30 kids and you only have 20 chairs and they want you to meet benchmarks and complete assessments and our students are not even able to stay awake or stay focused. And guess what? Neither was I, because my parents were living in my 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that I was ready to get out of for the next 9 months, right? And everybody around me is affected by a natural disaster, and I am trying to cover up my pain by still trying to give out, right? So I remember somebody said, you're here because you want to be able to figure out how to live through the chaos and relieve the stress, relieve the anxiety, and find an anchor in self-care. Well, starting those processes helps with setting the intentions, right? So thank you for sharing that. Being able to speak affirmations and then even reciting a mantra can help, okay? And so let me go to the speaking affirmation. So I want you to know that you're not by yourself. I have been in chaotic times and I'm currently in one now. So I'm sure we all are. So speaking affirmations, what is an affirmation? An affirmation is a positive statement that you are pushing out of your body and able to speak it to yourself and to others with confidence, right? So I'm sure we all remember the movie. Desiree, you're gonna have to help me with the movie name. I am smart, I am intelligent. What movie is that?
The Help.
The Help, yes. So I love that because it makes me laugh, but it also makes me think of affirmations. So thank you for that. So what I want you to do for me is to sit up straight, and I don't need to see you right now because I'm gonna get you later, but sit up straight, and I want you to repeat after me. Even though I can't see you and I can't hear you, I still want you to do it. And I have a friend right now who I think is on her way to karate class with her daughter, and I still just want you to say it in your spirit, okay? I want you to sit up and I want you to say, I am worth it. And I want you to say, I am grateful. I am intelligent enough to encounter any adversity in my classroom. I care about my students. I care about all children. I am amazing. I really got it going on. I am powerful in everything that I do. And if you were able to do that with me, with complete confidence and not being worried about who was standing around you at home or wherever you are, put for me in the chat how that made you feel. And I want you to be very honest with me. Did you feel strange? Did you feel it working through your body? Were you excited to know that you are powerful, even on a Zoom call with Dr. Alexander? How did that make you feel? And so, Desiree, did anybody say anything in the chat yet?
Yes, ma'am. We have that it was a game changer. It was a combination of good and strange.
Okay, yes. I take that. So I appreciate good and strange. So if
It
you're
made
not,
me feel awesome.
oh, thank y'all. And so good and strange, I'll take it. Let me tell you why. If you are not familiar with speaking affirmations and even saying them outside of your body, it's weird. It's like trying on a red lipstick that you've never tried before. It's like, I kind of like it, but it's new. I guess I could wear it somewhere, but I just haven't seen it on myself before. So affirmations, because you're speaking to yourself out of yourself, right? Some people find that affirmations are weird, and that's okay. So I recommend if it feels strange to you, still feels good but strange, then write it down in a journal. Put it on a sticky note on your mirror so that you're looking at that. So I used to dance for real, dance recitals and dance team, and I was actually the dance coach at the high school I taught at, Pros Katrina. And so I would have to kind of like motivate myself. And so in doing that, I would put the sticky notes up to remind myself, remember, today you are going to be an amazing dancer, and your students are going to be touched, and they're going to be motivated. And so just kind of reminding myself about the positive things that I have within me, so that I can also pour the positivity into others that they may need, right? So I'm sure you all have heard the phrase, you can't pour out if your cup is empty. So we have to keep our cups filled to be able to continue to pour. So affirmations, if you haven't done them before, I highly recommend speaking them, writing them, noting them, even put them on the refrigerator, okay? And so with a mantra, it's a little bit different. I like to recite mantras, which means you're saying them over and over again, not necessarily verbally, but just in my head. And they allow for a space of relaxation, aiding you in feeling safe, maybe decreasing anxiety. I have trouble sleeping. And so the mantra assists with just kind of like relaxing my mind to a place of peace. And so an example of a mantra is, I am safe, I am loved, I am relaxed. And I want you to say it with me. I am safe, I am loved, I am relaxed. Let's say it again. I am safe, I am loved, I am relaxed. And so even by saying that, for me, and maybe because I do it and it's practiced, it helps to lower my heart rate. It helps to lower my voice. My excitement level is kind of more chilled. I'm in a place of relaxation. I could actually lay down now, Desiree, and go take a nap, because I think y'all have helped relax me. So let me know how you feel about the mantra in the chat.
Well, I just put that, just saying it, I felt more relaxed immediately, which is insane.
Yeah. And so Desiree, I know I saw something that you posted, and I think it's okay if we go back and forth. I saw something that you posted about just doing a lot and just having a lot on your plate, and then taking things off your plate and immediately feeling like you can breathe. Reciting a mantra does that for your mind sometimes when you need it, just to take a break from just the thoughts whirling and whirling around. And so I appreciate you sharing that. So just by doing a simple mantra, you are setting the intention for peace and relaxation, especially when you have one that you feel comfortable with. You can always pick different words, I am relaxed, I am a proud parent, I am safe. Something, it could be anything that you choose that fits your specific situation and comfort level. And by saying that to yourself, repeating it, the mantra, I am loved, I am beautiful, I am cared for. Whatever you need, it is okay to do that. And so I just want to make sure I give you some of these tools depending on what fits you, okay? And so let's go ahead and go to our next slide. And if at any point you want more about it, or you have a question or comment, feel free to dive in. And Desiree, we also want people to know that we may be going a little faster than what we'd like to go, but we will dive more into the spring. Is that correct?
Tanya will come back once a month starting in January. We haven't picked out the exact dates yet, but you will get them in the December newsletter, hopefully, definitely the January newsletter. But she's going to come back once a month and dive deeper into some of these things that she's talking about with mindfulness for educators. So y'all better be on the lookout for that to start signing up for those webinars.
Yay. Okay. So thank you so much, Desiree. And thank you for the invite, and I'll take it because I need it too. So let's go ahead and get into the definition. So as educators, we want to be able to communicate this to our students, to our administrators. When we first started doing mindfulness with the eye care program, and I have some of my very close friends at the training with me, they're actually in a session, Desiree, but then they're also on the call. And so we do this for our district. But when we first started it, people thought that we were coming in talking about religion and that we were gonna like light candles and have people floating in the room. That is not this. Everybody can be more mindful. Everybody can benefit, and our students need it just as much as we do. Okay, and so the definitions that I like to share to kind of warm people up to using the terms mindfulness, even meditation. Mindfulness is being more conscious and aware of something in the present moment. So earlier when we did what's your favorite song, I wanted to draw you into a place of happiness and have your heart smile thinking about your favorite song. When I think about my favorite song, I'm just like, whoo, I love that song, right? It makes me smile. It makes me feel good. It makes me give out light and love. And so mindfulness just helps to bring you back to the present moment. And then, of course, mindfulness also means that you are calmly acknowledging your own feelings, your own state of mind, and your own bodily sensations. What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you touching? And what are you see? Smell, taste, touch. I'm missing one. Hearing. Thank you. Hearing. All right. Somebody said it at home. I felt it. So being able to do that. The word that I left off of this slide, and I did it on purpose, is it also means to be non-judgmental. What does non-judgmental mean to you? Put that in the chat for me. Non-judgmental. And when I ask my students this, the answers are hilarious. What does non-judgmental mean? Well, Miss Tanya, it means that if I trip and fall and I get up, I shouldn't be mad at myself because I fell. I'll take it. That's right. Non-judgmental. Let me see.
We have accepting and tolerant.
Mm-hmm. Yes, being accepting of something that has happened, right? Somebody may have said something that has offended you at work. Acknowledging that it bothered you, right? And being able to say that really bothered me, and then being able to move forward, right? I have a very close friend at work that tells me to not necessarily to get over things, but to kind of learn to let things go once I have acknowledged that they bother me. And I love her for that because I'm still growing in that process. I'm still growing in my mindfulness to let things go. And so why I used to say, do you want me to let things go? My mom too, she's on the call, Desiree, Connie Chapman. Hey, mama. She's like, girl, you got to let that go. That is petite stuff. That's not important. And it used to bother me because I want you to know that I'm mad. And I want you to know I'm upset. I want you to know, just like my 6-year-old, that my 6-year-old said, Mama, I want to play on the playground. I see the playground every day. Why can't I touch it? I hate coronavirus. I want to hug my friends. I don't want to just see them on the screen. I want to hug my teacher. My teacher told me I have to get a fist bump and I can only get one hug a day. And then, but she hugged me and she wasn't supposed to. It made me feel good. I said, okay. So she hugged you and she wasn't supposed to, but it made you feel good. And you have acknowledged that you were very upset, but once we talk about it, we have to move forward because there are so many things that we still should be grateful for. And if we hold on to the things that we cannot control, what does that do to us? If I hold on to the pain, or if I hold on to the hurt, or being mad, or not being able to move forward, what does that do for me? Will that hold me back at work? Will that prevent me from being able to reach somebody else that may need me just as much as I need them? Will that stop me from growing? You know, so just taking a look at mindfulness in a gentle way, and then also being able to calmly acknowledge that we do have feelings, that they are important, and how are we able to move forward with things that we cannot control. Does anybody agree with that, or do you disagree? Let me know if I'm all wrong here. Okay.
We have some amens in the
Oh,
chat.
I'll take it. I'll take it. And if you disagree, let me know too. I'm always growing.
And right on.
Right on. Okay. So mindfulness, internal and external. I really love this because when I'm talking to the students, I'm able to describe for them the external really, really well, right? So what are we seeing right now? On this slide, I see the light bulb that is just bright and beautiful and shining. And we want to be that for our students and our family members and for ourselves. And so I'm able to see that. If I were to tell you that that light bulb is buzzing, then that is what you're hearing, right? If I were to taste the metal, don't do it, but to taste the metal of the light bulb, y'all used to eat coins. So I could taste the metal of a copper penny, in my mouth just thinking about it. And then if I were able to smell something, maybe an essential oil or something burning, you know the difference between a piece of paper burning and a peppermint essential oil or a pumpkin spice latte. Smells really, really good for Thanksgiving. So it just kind of reminds you to be mindful in those particular areas. And so doing that in the classroom is amazing. Taking a piece of, well, we used to take a piece of chocolate or candy and give it and let a student taste it and then talk more about that taste. Putting on some essential oils and discussing how tea tree oil smells different than peppermint oil or bergamot, smelling those different fragrances, and then different sounds. If I play a piano versus a saxophone, you can tell the difference. And so just using those examples for the kiddos is really, really good to help them understand mindfulness externally. Now let's talk a little bit about mindful internally. Somebody hugs you that you haven't seen since the beginning of this year. When I saw my mom for the first time over the last month, because she said, baby, don't come to my house and bring that Rona to my house. I know, mama, but then she let me hug her a couple of months ago, last month, and it felt like complete sunshine throughout my body to be able to touch her hand and to touch her. And so I know internally I was more alert, more mindful of her touch. I also know that when somebody told me something that offended me, or I saw something on TV that offended me, how did you think that made me feel on the inside? I was angry. I was upset. My feelings have been dismissed. I felt rage sitting on the couch watching something that I just couldn't believe, right? And so thinking about how our students feel on the inside and how they feel on the outside helps us to connect with them and ourselves, okay? And so I want to show an activity, but I also want to show, I'm going to show the ditto sheet that goes with the inside and outside present. And so, Desiree, can you see this resource?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So everybody, there are so many wonderful free resources, and I'm only going to be able to cover a few, but I want to give it to you. This is on education.com, and if Desiree, you can put that in the chat for me, education.com. I think I have the link provided through Desiree, but if not, This is a downloadable, and the series is called Mindfulness, the Inside and Outside Present. And if you see at the top, it says Mindfulness Series, the Outside and the Inside Present. It says mindfulness is being aware of what is taking place outside of us as well as what is happening on the inside. And so I love a handout in my teacher life because we don't have to recreate the wheel. We just have to find the wheel and turn in the key, y'all. And so this is great for all grade levels. So I actually had a teacher friend say, well, my kindergartner can't read this. I said, but you can. So look, little Bobby, what do you notice on the outside? And Kelly, what do you notice on the inside? And help them do it. And I think you would be pleasantly surprised. And so in virtual learning, I have found a wonderful thing called Seesaw. Anybody know about Seesaw? Anybody? So Seesaw is an app where you can like upload a handout and then like have the kids type little text boxes and move them around. And I just love it. It's just amazing. It's helped my life. So in the Seesaw life, you can have the word outside, inside, and little pictures of things and have them move feelings over. It's also a great way to do your SEL check-ins, your social emotional learning check-ins. Desiree, social emotional learning. Next semester, we're gonna cover it. How are we checking in with our students, our parents, and even our coworkers and ourselves? It's okay if you're a principal and you want to do a quick check-in with your staff. My friend and director, Aaron Bradford, checks in on us all the time. Tanya, are you okay? I see it's raining outside. You know, we have another hurricane in the Gulf. Are you okay? And my answer is always, no, I'm not okay. But thank you for asking, and thank you for letting me at least say I'm not all right. Okay. And so what is similar about the outside present and the inside present? What is different about the outside present and the inside present? So when you're thinking about cross-curriculum instruction, we're covering similarities and differences. And we're still talking about emotional support, right? It's easier to observe the outside present or the inside present. Why? That's higher order thinking, depending on what grade level you're using this for. And then the next part I absolutely love. Draw yourself from the inside and from the outside. So if we have a student who is hurt because maybe mom and dad are divorced, or you just lost somebody due to coronavirus, or I really have a headache today, and then you ask that student, well, why do you have a headache here? Why is it red? Well, because I didn't eat, and I haven't eaten, since I left school yesterday. Imagine the things that you're able to find out just by starting a simple mindfulness conversation in the classroom or with each other. And so I love this, love it, and it's free. I really love free. And so it is geared towards pre-K through 5th, but I've used it with everybody. I've even used it with adults. So it's just about how you sell it. Teachers are also marketers, so we have to sell things. And then the other handout is called The Present Moment. And I don't have that one, but it talks about the 5 senses like we did. And then one more sheet that I want to show you is a Starfish Breathing. And it just simply allows the students to be able to breathe in and breathe out. We're going to practice in a little while. It says color the outline of the starfish. As you color up the fish's arm going up, you're going to breathe in through your nose. And I love that they give those specific instructions. Breathe in through your nose. Then you're going to take a breath out of your mouth at the exhale as you color down the outline of the starfish's arm. So you're going to breathe in and color, and then exhale out and color. And so it's just a great little exercise. I've actually had parents call in and say, I like doing it too. Can I have some extra handouts? You sure can. And then I got it from Pinterest, and it's from thisgirldesigns.com, and it was absolutely free, a free download. So I wanted to make sure I shared that because I use these the most with all groups. And so Desiree, do we have anything in the chat that needs to be shared?
Not at this time, but I am putting all of the links you're talking about in the chat.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to try to
if they're watching on YouTube, it will be under Show More.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump to our activity control circles. And so with control circles, Let me share this. We do this with different groups. And so it's just a matter of taking a look at the smaller circle being what I can control and the outer circle being what I cannot control. So in the chat right now, everybody, give me some things that you can control, and I will speak mine as you type yours. So what I can control in life, I controlled wearing this shirt for you all, this little cute little white little ruffle neck shirt. I controlled getting a pumpkin spice latte versus my French vanilla with almond milk. I controlled, I controlled what I ate last night, Desiree. That's right. I had buffalo hot wings and celery sticks and pizza. I controlled asking Desiree to play certain music this morning to set the vibe. All right. And so keep coming in. What can you control? What
My
can you control?
reactions to negative comments, how I respond to situations,
Yes.
what I think, eat, and say. I control my choices.
Yes.
I think I just said this one, but just in case, my actions and oh no, I didn't. My actions and reactions to others. You can just control that you asked Desiree to play, not that she did it.
Ah,
My effort.
yes. Good job. You caught it. I love y'all. So yes. And I love the fact that someone said I can control my reactions. And so in talking to our students, they don't think that they can control their reactions. They don't think they can control how they feel. And how you feel for me really is both. Just because I can control, for me, my reaction to how I felt. But if my feelings are hurt, my feelings are hurt. So I like to kind of like dive into that with them. And so what are some things that we cannot control? Put those in the chat. What are some things that we cannot control? Tanya cannot control the weather. That's always my first one. I cannot control how people feel about me. I cannot control, I see some coming in. I cannot control, I used to say I cannot control my mouth, but I can. I just act like I can't. I cannot control, oh goodness, what other people do. I cannot control how the next person drives. I cannot control how McDonald's does not put lettuce and tomato on a quarter pounder. You know, I can't control these things. And sometimes I like to be really lighthearted about what I cannot control, just for my own safe place. But what are some people saying, Desiree?
Okay, that they cannot control some of the stuff that you already said, so I'll skip
Okay.
those.
Yeah, good.
COVID, the government, the internet, coronavirus, the cost of things, other people's actions, change when my kindergarten students don't have the materials for online learning.
Yes. Yes. So we are definitely there. And we cannot change those things. So what do? We try to find the middle ground to still be able to support a safe place for our feelings, a safe place for our students, and do the very best that we can with them. And so, and we'll talk about virtual learning and our babies not having what they need at home. That is a whole nother, well, we can go off on a whole nother segment of that. And so what I have been trying to do and support is I'm trying to be the elf on the shelf. So when I find out that a student does not have, I go and I ask, and I can't provide it out of my own pocket. I have gone and asked other people for their support, and then drop things off, slip things to students that I know that they need, and then also reeled in care teams for those students to help support them. And some parents have not wanted to receive for, I guess, feelings of not wanting to look like they need something. So I've also had to be very creative in my delivery methods for students. And so I definitely say if you are someone who has students in need and they need materials and things like that, bringing in other coworkers or colleagues for support, and then reaching out to the parents and asking, well, what else do you need that we may not know of that we can support you with? Because right now, when we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we want major needs to be met. Do you all have enough food at the house? You know, are there other things that I can help connect you with resources and support so that the child can have the best learning environment right now with being at home? And so I appreciate everybody for sharing those. And it can be a very heavy topic. And a lot of it is not only hard work, but heart work. Not only hard work, but heart work, right? And so the slide here I have on the screen that my friend found, I love it. It says it's all COVID related. It talks about things I cannot control, the amount of toilet paper at the store. How long will this last, right? How others will react, other people's motives. I'm gonna put on here, I can't find Lysol or disinfecting wipes if others follow the rules of social distancing, the actions of others, and predicting what will happen, and then what can I control? And some of the things that you can control can directly connect to some of the things that you cannot. So the amount of toilet paper at the store, I can't control, but I can control my positive attitude about searching for toilet paper. So a sorority sister of mine has decided that she was so frustrated that toilet paper was not available that now she has like a scavenger hunt group to find toilet paper. So that's something fun that they do, and they get excited to go and search for toilet paper and Lysol, and it's a real thing now. So they turned around that negative feeling about not being able to find it to a positive attitude, looking at your own social distancing, your kindness and grace, and then limiting social media, right? About the things, what do we see? And so what I want to do now is I'm going to jump to gratitude. Very important. Tell me in the chat, what are you grateful for? In this moment today, with some of the things that we've talked about already, what are you grateful for? And I can tell you mine. I am grateful for you all showing up on a Saturday for many of us in the middle of the day during lunchtime. And feel free to take a lunch or take a sip if you need to. Just showing up, because it shows that we are dedicated beyond measure, not even for the public to see, but we're dedicated beyond measure for our kids and for our well-being. And so I think that is amazing. So amazing. So I'm grateful for you being here. I'm grateful to see your names. Some of you have pictures, for the chat box typing, because you could have just not shown up. And I'm grateful for Desiree for her ability to be able to connect educators in a time where we feel disconnected and not valued. So I'm grateful for you, Dr. D, today as well. Okay. And can you share for me some in the chat?
Of course. My house, my family, my health, the love of my husband and how he treats me, my family, time shared to connect with family and friends, my job, I love teaching, my sisters, my employment, God, my family and friends. We're grateful that you two are sharing your knowledge. They're grateful for you, Tanya C. Griffin.
Aww, thank you.
Let's see. Thankful our school is still open. Remote learning opportunities during COVID.
Yes. And so just a wide spectrum of things to be grateful for. And isn't it amazing for us to be able to still say we are grateful even in the midst of trauma? Because we are all going through trauma, whether we know it or not, y'all. We are all going through the stages of grief, whether it's loss of a loved one, loss of a student, loss of a school building, not being able to connect with one another, not being able to go and work out in the gym. All of those things are parts of grief and traumatic loss. And it is okay to say that. It is okay to say, I am grieving my friends because I cannot be with them. I am grieving, I'm in grief with my 5-year-old who wants to hug her teacher every day, right? And so I feel that hurt for our kids. We may be in grief about our students not having all the supplies they need at their homes, and we are not able to provide that for them. Whereas we know if they were in the classroom, we would have those extra supplies for them, and they would not want, they would have what they needed at school. So it is okay to be going through this grief process and realizing that we're all going through it together. Maybe at different levels, but we're still all going through it together. And so I thank y'all so much for just letting me kind of dive into that. And Desiree, keep me on my time because I know get passionate.
You
And
have 1 hour left.
thank you. And so creating a mindful environment in person and virtually, I definitely want to touch on this. And so step one is to create a mindful space. So if you have your kiddos in the class, even your older students, my husband teaches high school digital media. They returned about a week ago, and he was like, my classroom is finally coming together. And I was like, you don't have anything in your class but desks and tables. And he was like, look, he sent me a picture of the lights being off, and he ran like a studio blue lighting around the rim of the ceiling, and it changed the whole ambiance of the room. And he said the students love it. They feel like they are in a producing studio. They're making content. They're motivated. They're excited, all because he changed the lighting. And our students have been at home in crazy lighting, right? I'm in a hotel room with a whole bunch of lights on, and this is not my normal. I need a ring light. I wanted to really be cute for y'all today. But just by setting the ambiance with lighting for high school students, he said, has changed their motivation, and they're excited to create. So looking at the mindful space, we have the Mickey Mouse, some crayons, some really cute timekeepers there, different pens or pencils with sparkles, and I see the cell phone on the desk. I'm going to go ahead and say I think the cell phone is there for maybe some light music, maybe some Go Noodle, just something fun for the kids. Then the next picture here says Puppy Mind, the name jar. Excuse me. I've actually seen what was formerly called the timeout area now be called the spa, right? Or maybe just like a resting area for students to go so that they can calm themselves down in a mindful, creative space. So thinking about those different types of areas for our lower grades, as we move over to the teacher's desk, candles. My friend Miss Price loves to have a candle lit at her desk. And when I walking over to her station at work, I immediately feel relaxed because I can smell the scent there. I can see the flame, and I know that it's just a relaxing setting. And I lower my voice, Desiree. I go from talking loud at my desk with like a whole bunch of like bumpty bump, and I go to her area and good morning, how are you doing? So it just sets the tone. Having some greenery at your desk, some calming rocks, and just having things organized, maybe some soft sounds. As you look at the other station, again, a candle or a light, a plant, some greenery by the window, opening up the window up. I'm actually at the hotel, and I had the window closed, and I said, you know what? I need to be able to open this window because I want to set the tone in the room for me to be able to feel like I'm breathing. I'm not closed into a space. So no matter how big or small your space is, you can always create that environment for whatever tone it is you want to set, right? The other one has some different crates that are turned into seats. And I think many of us know that one already. And then being able to build mindful practices into your daily routine is so important. So how do we do that? I actually started out with doing an icebreaker or an anticipatory hook, where you just go, you listen to soft music of either your choice or the choice. I provide a link, and I let them listen to it, just kind of like warm them up to listening to white noise or to a soothing sound. And at first I had a lot of students who were very resistant, and they would put their heads down and go to sleep for 5 minutes. And then they wake up and say, Ms. River, this was stupid. And I'd say, okay, I understand you think it's stupid, but you're going to do it. Because I taught high school students, so you're going to do it. And then after about a week, they would really look forward to that 5 minutes of listening to the music. or listen to the white noise and taking just a break from academics. But I knew I was tricking them, y'all, because eventually it went from the music to let's deep belly breathe for 5 minutes to what my husband does now, which is he does 5 whole minutes of meditation, and now they have a meditation club. And so building that into your routine allows for self-regulation. It helps our students to reset. They take a brain break. You're able to reestablish the tone in the room. If maybe you have a class where you have the first class, lunch, and then you have the second part of the class, you're able to reset and set the tone for the second part. And it also allows for them to be able to be refreshed. All right. So any questions about creating a mindful space or building mindful practices into your daily routine? Any questions? Okay. All right.
This time.
Okay, good. All right. So what I want to do here is show some free resources, right? And so let me see. Oh, let me jump back. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me jump out of this one. Let me go back to where I was. Okay, so here we go. So where's it? In the chat, tell me who creates a mindful environment. Who should create the mindful environment in the chat? Who should it be? Yourself, yes. Yes, yourself. The students should create a mindful environment. Our administrators should create a mindful environment. Parents who are virtually learning should create a mindful environment. I can't tell you how many students I've seen virtually that are like, it's not mindful. And it's hard to be able to like say, I really want you to sit up, right? Turn the light on, take the scarf off of your head, please. You know, please ask your big brother to get out of the shot in the background, like, hey, you know, just like try to set a place for learning right now, not just for you to only learn, but also for you to be able to clear your head, to be able to receive information. All right, using what can you use to help create the mindful environment? Put that in the chat for me. What can you use? For me, I love essential oils. So I'm going to look into getting a safe oil burner for my space. Good. Aromas, appropriate music. I love it. Anybody else? What can we use to provide a mindful environment? And then how do we do that? How do we implement that? Lighting, good. A diffuser. Thank you. I'm going to look into getting a diffuser. All right. How do we do that? The location, yes. Where we actually put certain things is very important, right? And then when do we do it? Should I wait until January because it's a brand new year? Preparing a space for meditation time, yes. Project boards, yes. Coming up with great ideas with our students will be important, right? Having them be vested in the creation of this new mindful environment. Having them take ownership, yes. Doing it right now, okay? And I see my husband, he's jumped on here, y'all. He said preparing a space for meditation time. So not only having a meditation time only, but also preparing the space for it. So thank you, Ontario. Now in the morning and after lunch, and having community circles. Yes, community circles. So let me say this. So Desiree, I see a community friend here who is also an administrator, and she has a group called the High Tea Series. I love it. It's on Instagram, and she is providing information for parents as well as educators and students, and giving them a space to receive valuable information. And Desiree just put that in the chat for us, the High Tea Series. She's on Instagram. Her name is Miss Chastity Johnson George. Absolutely amazing. And so our parents and our community members and students can receive more information in regards to education there. And so love, 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 love it. Miss George, go ahead and put your information in the chat for me. And she's sharing that with parents weekly. And so I love that. So when? As frequently as possible, right? whenever you feel like there is a need. There's no need to have to wait until the next semester or the next 9 weeks. We need as much as we can right now. So thank you. And so that moves us. She said, come have high tea with me. So that moves us, Desiree, into the part where I need to hear that bounce song. Do you have it? I want to make sure everybody's still with me.
I do have it. Would you like me to play it now?
If you want to hear this bounce song, y'all, in the chat, put yes. I need to make sure I see at least quorum present, Dr. D. At least quorum present. Put yes in the chat, please, if you want to hear this bounce song that Dr. Desiree has found for. Okay, we can, yes, we want to hear it. You go for it. That's Desiree, that's all I needed. So for all of my people who are international, that is called bounce music. That is just, it's amazing. It's a lot of racket, but it feels good to hear it. And that is the type of music that I played in my classroom in 2006, 2007 to identify with my students and for them to finally let me in to talk to them about keyboarding with no computers. So thank you for letting me share that. I appreciate it. So with that being said, I hope you liked it. I see a lot of, I love y'all. Desiree, the chat has me cracking up. I love it. So welcome. Oh, DJ Jubilee was your PE teacher? He was. Okay, so Desiree, fun fact, DJ Jubilee was not only a bus driver and a DJ, but he was also a teacher at a local high school in New Orleans. Did you know that?
That's awesome. I had no clue.
And what kind of rapport do you all think he had? Walter L. Cohen, that's right, green and gold. What kind of rapport do you think he had with his students? You think they really enjoyed him and were able to listen to him? Fun. I'm sure they did, yes. And so that is a great example, and I'm happy you played that particular song. And Walter L. Cohen is in the house. Happy to have you. So now we're gonna go ahead, and he said he wrote those songs while we had PE class. Learning so much. So what I want to do now, I see you, Warren Easton. I want you to just go ahead and take a deep breath for me, and we are going to share our video screens. I told you I wanted to see you, y'all, and I have to see you for this exercise. So please share your video, and I want to see how you deep belly breathe, and I want to give you some tips on form, and we are going to dive into self-care for ourselves in this transitional period. And so please go ahead and share your video for me. I'm happy to see your faces. Don't be afraid. I've been showing mine the whole time. And so I'd love for you to share right now if you can. And
do you want them to be able to unmute themselves at this time? Or just share the screen?
Just share screen. Let's just share screen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And so I just want you to go ahead and sit up straight. And I'm taking a look at you if I can. And I want to have your feet flat on the ground and your shoulders down and flat for me. Good. And your chin probably at a 90-degree angle. And just relax those shoulders. If you want to close your eyes, you can. And just go ahead and gently rest your arms on your lap. Thank y'all so much. I see you. I really appreciate it. And what I want to do is what we asked the students on that ditto sheet to do, which was to just take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Good. And so what a lot of our students do is they breathe in and they go, well, that did nothing but increase your heart rate. I want you to be able to breathe in through your nose and exhale out very slowly. And so if you start to feel cooler or you yawn or you feel more relaxed and kind of like want to hunch over, that means you're doing it right. Because you taking in that deep breath is helping to cleanse. It's called the cleansing breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth very slowly. And what you're doing with that exhale breath is you are extending that breath as long as possible to cleanse out your lungs and just kind of be refreshed, right? So we're going to go ahead and take 3 deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, holding it for about 2 seconds, and then exhaling out very slow. In the form that I'm seeing with you all, you look amazing. So you're doing really well. Let's go ahead and do 3 of those deep belly breaths. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and let's do one more. Breathe in and breathe out. And so by doing that, we have cleansed our lung area. We have opened up our chest, allowing for the expansion of the lungs, which is so important right now because we're working those muscles that we need to work to continue to be healthy in that area. And we're just kind of like refreshing our minds and resetting there. And so for those who are able to take those breaths with me, please put in the chat how that made you feel to take those 3 deep belly breaths. And so sometimes it feels like a lot to be able to like hold that breath in and then exhale. And so while you're putting that in the chat for me, I also will say that it is important to take those breaths daily, especially if you are going through possible stressful situations. Nap time, I agree. I like that, Paula. Yes, clearing your mind. For me, I knew it was coming, and I told y'all I was so excited to see you because I wanted to take a breath earlier, but I wanted to wait. This is so amazing. Bruce, thank you. So being able to just be calming and relaxed, calming and centered. And so what I want us to do is we're going to take it a step further. We're going to push ourselves and push our lungs to work those muscles, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to breathe in for 4. Ooh, we're going to work now. And I want you to try to hold it for 4. And then I want you to exhale for 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. And I'll count and you breathe with me. All right, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. How did that feel? How did that feel? That's right, Desiree. It is the 4x4x4, and it is amazing. Okay, it is amazing for me. Thank you, Tanessa. So being able to just take those breaths does a lot to release some of the tension when we're stressed out and we have that tightness in our necks and our arms, and you're clenching your fists in the classroom like, I wish they would just shut up. It's okay to take a breath. All right, I'm gonna say it for you. You don't have to say it. I'm gonna say it, Miss Kathleen. I'm gonna say what I think. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. Desiree, she's gonna post it on me, not post it on you. So it is okay to say that. And so make sure that you set a 4x4x4 for yourself. I recommend it 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, you can do this in the bathroom. You can take a breath at the coffee machine where you shouldn't be together anymore. You can take the breath driving before you get out of your car in the morning, and we deserve it. We deserve it, okay? And so, all right, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to show yourselves anymore right now. I appreciate you. Everybody gets a prize. Yay! What's the prize? I'm going to have to come up with something nice. Maybe at the end, all right? So Desiree, it's okay if I share my screen again?
Yes, ma'am. It wouldn't let me unmute, but yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was like, she left me alone. All right. Okay, good job, y'all. I see your mama. You look good. Okay, so let's jump back into the presentation. We're diving into self-care, right? So let me see here. Go back to my slide. Perfect. All right. You see it, Desiree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So what is self-care? Self-care, actions and attitudes which contribute to the maintenance of one's well-being. It enhances personal health, and promotes human development. So when we think about our little ones going through changes and stages, for them to be able to have self-care, yes, I'm talking about even little kids, for them to be able to have self-care is essential to their human development and enhancing personal health and experiences. Care for yourself, and then also we need this to learn, grow, and inspire others. So I really like the breakdown of what that looks like. Okay, and so for me, whoops, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm moving things around on my screen. So what is radical self-care? I talked about in the objectives, me adopting the phrase radical self-care. Normal self-care before 2020 was taking a couple deep breaths, doing Zumba, maybe getting my nails done, going for a massage, walking in the grass, holding my daughter's hands, things like that. Well, in the COVID, remember I told you earlier, we call it the COVID. In the COVID, self-care has had to be bizarre. It's had to be radical for me to remain present and alive. And I can't stress that enough, present and alive. So here are some very important things I've had to adopt, and I want to share this with you. Nurture yourself as you would your beloved child. I told you I have 2 daughters. Both of them now are sleeping with us in the bed because, they need nurturing and physical touch because they can't hug their grandmothers or their friends. So I have to hug everybody a lot more, and I need hugs too. So I want to nurture myself like I would nurture my children. That's pretty deep because I do everything and anything their hearts desire. But guess what, Desiree? I don't do everything and anything my heart desires or my husband's heart desires because I feel like sometimes maybe I'm not good enough. I need to just focus on them. And that's not always the case. We should be focusing on ourselves just as much, if not more. But doesn't that sound selfish? It sounds very selfish. But guess what? Self-care is not selfish. And I'm still learning that in 2020. Okay? I'm being very transparent. I'm still learning that in 2020. He's even saying it to you all. I feel like I want to cry a little bit, like, oh, I'm not there yet. We want to contain stress. So normally, I'm the kind of person who, if I see an accident, a car accident or something, I'm not a medical professional, but I think I am. So I'm going to try to save the world. That's just me. I like to carry an invisible cape and I want to save the world. I want to deliver babies. I want to fight for injustices in the streets of America. And I want to be on CNN and just saving everybody and doing the right thing all the time. But I also have a major health issue and I probably should contain my stress in these times. So avoiding situations that are stressful and dangerous to you, it's okay to avoid them. It's okay to say, not today, I can't handle that. Increasing your exercise is very important because exercise is not only strengthening our muscles and our organs, but also good for our mental health, leaving things on the dance floor. So y'all love Zumba. If you play a sport or if you are engaging with students, the Go Noodle is our friend, whether it's virtually or in class. So exercise and getting out those jitters is great. Number 4 says take responsibility for meeting your own needs and solving the problems life presents to you. Take responsibility for meeting your own needs and solving the problems that life presents to you. I talked earlier about me wanting to save the world. Some of those problems are not problems that life presents to Tanya. Some of those problems are problems that life presents to others. So what do you think that means, y'all? Solving things that I can fix, not trying to fix everything else, right? And then number 5, which is my favorite, don't postpone joy. Don't postpone joy. Joy can be in every facet of your life, and you deserve it. You deserve that joy. Okay. And so let's see. Yes, I love Zoom, but we can always do it, y'all. We can get it. Okay. So, and I see that some areas, yes, we're struggling in, and it is okay, because at least we're acknowledging the fact that certain areas we struggle in. Okay. All right. So mind-body connections. How are our minds and our bodies connected? Well, we talked a little bit earlier about possibly having a situation where you're depressed or you're going through grief, and then having that feeling make you physically sick or sicker, right? And so our minds and our bodies are definitely connected, and so are our students. And so when we think about self-care and nurturing yourself allows you to be healthier in a holistic approach. It allows you to be healthier mentally, physically, and emotionally, and spiritually. Okay. And so as we have covered the importance of self-care, all of these things work together for balance. And so mindfulness connects to self-care, because when you're more mindful about the inside and the outside present, you're more able to see clearly what you need, right? So if I know that I am depressed right now because of something somebody said or somebody did, then me being more mindful about it says, well, maybe I can have a conversation with them, or maybe I can seek advice from someone that I trust about that situation, and then I can try to move forward. And then in doing that, I no longer have a feeling of sadness or overwhelming anger about it. I'm able to have that conversation, and a better conversation, in a safe space. And so being able to also facilitate those kinds of conversations with our students. So what I've noticed about our students in this time is that small things have bigger reactions because they have so much going on, whether at home or they feel disconnected to us, or virtual learning is too much. The screens are too bright. We all have too much screen time, but that's something beyond our control right now. So just being able to talk to them about mindfulness, what's really going on, and allowing them a safe space to communicate. I'm also noticing that us as educators, we need safe spaces for communication. We need safe places to be able to come out and say, I really don't like this. I think this is a bad idea. I want to come to school in a trash bag and just do my very best. I'm nervous about all of it. And being able to say all that in a safe space and still be able to move forward and do what we need to do for our kids and for ourselves. And so co-mindfulness, which I love, the definition of that is being able to listen to hear as opposed to listen to respond. So I'm going to talk about my husband. He told me a long time ago that when I ask questions, I already know the answer that I want him to give. Let me say that again. He would tell me that when I would ask questions, I would already know the answers that I would want for him to give. So I was asking questions, forcing him to give certain answers, which means I was not listening to hear. I was listening to respond. So in that, and in communication with others, I am striving to be a better mindful listener. I'm laughing because I see the chat box popping up. I'm trying to be a better mindful listener because I'm not the greatest. I want everything to go my way. So I am learning to listen to hear and not listen to respond. Same things when I talk to our students. I ask them, how are you doing today? And then pausing until I get an answer. And I found that has truly helped build relationships and build communication on the school campuses, because I'm being genuine about my listening. I'm providing active listening, and I'm listening to hear. How are you doing today? And it's amazing when you ask somebody that with a genuine heart, eye contact, body language that match, and see what they say. Okay. And doing that for yourself at home, and then communicating that to partners, spouses, family members, even my daughters. How do you feel today? Because that question was the question that I asked my 5-year-old that prompted her to finally tell me she was emotional about looking at the playground equipment and not being able to touch it. And then she started crying. And I would have never thought that my 5-year-old was so emotional because she could see the equipment, but she could never touch it. And so let's think about how many other kiddos are looking at it and they can't touch it, and they feel like they're being deprived of it because of some invisible disease that's out there, and they know it's dangerous and they don't understand it because they can't see it. They can't process it, right? So just being able to ask, how do you feel? All right. So I really appreciate what y'all are saying in the chat. And y'all are amazing. We're going to keep it going. Yes, it's definitely hard for us to process too. Definitely. I don't know. That's why I have the venti. I'm just drinking Starbucks as a self-care method. I'm trying to process it. And so why do we need it, right? To reduce stress, to improve clarity and creativity, to boost productivity, even in the midst of a pandemic, to improve our mental health. And what are some examples? And so the reason we say radical self-care is because normal self-care would help keep us balanced and afloat in a normal world. We are not in a normal world. We are all going through something. Everybody has either lost a loved one or you know somebody who has lost a loved one. We are all going through civil unrest or watching it on TV. We are all stressed out. We are either directly affected with unemployment or nervous about being unemployed, right? As an educator, we're looking at things being cut and our needs not being met. We're watching our students go through a situation where their needs may not be met, and normally we could provide for them, but we're worried about providing for our own kids or ourselves, right? And so what are we doing? It is so important that we stop and take a breath, all right? It is so important. And then we need to encourage others to stop and take a breath. When we started this process in 2014 to educate other educators about mindfulness, people thought we were crazy because, we need to meet these assessments and these benchmarks, and we got to get these test scores up. Well, now we can't even focus on that because we're not breathing. We're not taking moments for clarity. We're not taking moments to check in with each other and show gratitude and love and connection, right? Simple touch. And we need these things to survive before we can even look at academics. And so examples of self-care, right? Examples of self-care. Put some for me in the chat. What are some self-care methods either you can promise that you'll try for me, or that you really already do that you love? Self-care methods that you are willing to try or have tried. And let me know what those are, Desiree. I'm excited to hear some good ones.
Absolutely will do once they come in.
Okay. The hot box. Oh my goodness. The chat box is hot. The hot box chat. That's what I wanted to say. Let me see it. I'm so excited about them. Oh my goodness.
Okay, they're starting to come in. So taking a moment of silence, writing stuff down and not depending on memory, listening to good music with my bestie, like Verses. I wonder who her bestie is. I hear that she's amazing and intelligent and beautiful. Listening to music.
Yes. Oh, dancing. I'm put that in.
Dancing. I'll say one of mine is leaving the office. I have a little office in my home, leaving the office to eat and watch TV. Completely leaving everything behind. Walking, hugging people in my home.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I like these. I like them a lot. Okay. So we're going to jump in and devise a plan. Okay. And so this is a downloadable. excuse me, everybody, from Pinterest again. And I also have a self-care plan from my website that I will show you all. And so I think it's important to actually create things on paper. I know people have been talking about writing things down. Writing things down is good for two things. The first thing is to get it out of your head so that you're not like worried about forgetting it. Because I'm like, I gotta remember to get that lettuce. I gotta remember to get that lettuce. And so I'm worried about the lettuce so much that I'm not like present in anything I'm doing because I'm thinking about the lettuce. Whereas if I just write down grocery list, get the lettuce, I can move forward in my day, right? So getting it out of your mind is a really good way to put it on paper. Another reason is so that it makes you accountable because you've written it down, you see it. And so because you've written it down, you're more apt to do it because you wrote it down, right? So creating a self-care plan, something like this, focusing on your mind, body, and your spirit. And I like this other little square. It says supportive people in my life. So a care team. And so for me, my care team is comprised of the High Tea series that I mentioned earlier, Nia Life, spelled Nialife, counseling center in Baton Rouge, has a really great counseling program for families and students. And it's also run by one of my friends, but I love that they post inspirational messages almost daily. And so it's a really good resource. And then Soul Technologies is a yoga teacher, also my mindful wellness coach, Miss Dee Poulard, and her link is also included, Soul Technologies. She has an amazing website, and I'm going to show you some of her yoga Nidra towards the end of the presentation, Desiree, because I want you all to be able to take these tools and use them for yourself or in your classroom, okay? And so creating a self-care plan like this, again, is essential, writing it down and having it. So for the mind, you could put Tanya's self-care plan. For my mind, I will take deep belly breaths 3 times a day. I will also cut off the TV an hour before I go to bed so that I don't dream of crazy things like I have been. For my body, I will continue to do Zumba, but I will also stretch in the morning and stretch in the afternoon. Y'all, these are things I need to do. I need to stretch. And then for my spirit, I will pray with my daughters and I will journal. And supportive people in my life, Dr. Desiree, Bridget Fortenberry, Stephanie Price, my mama, my husband, kiddos, my work friends and family. Put that there. All right. And then looking over to the left, creating a gratitude list. Awesome to do with students and for yourself. Early in the morning, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for the people on this call and still here for a 2-hour presentation on a Saturday. I'm grateful for my work friends with me, Cecile, Ashley, and Aaron, right? I'm grateful for the breath that I'm able to take because I remember a time earlier this year when I could not breathe, literally, because I was sick. So very, very, very important to think about the gratitude and listing that on paper as well. And then going back to our affirmations and our mantras. And we covered that earlier, okay? All right, self-care implementation tips. And we just talked about scheduling it in. I saw in the chat, somebody said, I need to schedule my 4x4x4. That's right. Putting it on your calendar, setting your watch, setting a chime, making sure that you get it done the same way you would schedule a PLC meeting or the same way you would schedule, an oil change for your car. You have to still operate and still be functional and to the best optimal level to be able to educate and to serve. Making a list of your favorite activities, starting the day right, taking the breath, making the gratitude list, and then creating your absolute no. Okay, so I put that here for me because my absolute no is I put at least 2 or 3 things down that I absolutely cannot say no to. Now, that's a lot of nots and no's, I know, but it just reminds me so that I can't say no to these things. So like today, what was on my absolute no list was I had to do this presentation. So I had to wake up super early, and I had to like figure out how I wasn't going to make this other presentation in San Antonio so I could make sure I do this presentation because I had to for my own self-care. See, you all thought I was here for you, and I'm here for me too because self-care is not selfish. You like the way I tied that in, Desiree?
I love it.
Self-care is not selfish. I'm here for myself too, okay? And then the last one, select one bigger self-care activity a week. So like this week may have been the bubble bath. Next week, the pedicure and the bubble bath. The following week, the pedicure, bubble bath, and yoga nidra before bed every night, right? So just kind of like growing on your self-care practices because right now we need radical self-care. All right, relaxation and resiliency. So again, I love the word resiliency because it means to be able to bounce back. But when you put relaxation with it, relaxation is needed in order to be able to bounce back successfully, right? So I think about like a rubber band, stretching and stretching, and then after so long, constantly pulling at the rubber band, what happens? It pops. We don't want that. We don't want stress, anxiety, chaos, being overwhelmed to pop us, to make us go off and just not be where we need to be for our students, for our families, and ourselves. So incorporating the relaxation is very, very important. All right. And so here is a relaxing 3x3 method. And so what this is a mindful and breathing practice where you name a physical object, take a deep breath, and then you repeat by taking the deep breath, right? So for instance, that is a lamp, breathing in and breathing out. This is a notebook, breathing in and breathing out. That is a cup, breathing in and breathing out. So this is an example of a relaxation process you can do with students. You can do for yourself if you have anxiety. I know we talked a little bit earlier about anchoring ourselves in simple self-care practices. And this is one where if you're new to a meditation or breathing, or if you're new to self-care, this is something very easy to integrate. So I would definitely do this with my students, and I would practice this even with a school staff. All right, so I'm gonna pick three things. So let's pick the computer because we're all looking at a computer or a phone. So this is a computer. Breathe in, breathe out, and then we'll say notebook. This is a notebook. Breathe in, breathe out, and this is a cup. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, and so I'm gonna do it 3 times, and feel free to breathe with me if you want. Okay, this is a computer. This is a notebook. This is a cup. You do it again. This is a computer. This is a notebook. This is a cup. And then you would do it a 3rd time, and that would be the end of the exercise. And so if you like that method, or if you didn't, please let me know in the chat why or why not. Because I love your feedback on that one. This is a newer one that I've been practicing. I like it because it makes me focus on the items that have been selected and not so much in my head with like a quietness. And so I'm interested to know your thoughts about that particular one. And Desiree, if you could read it for me, that'd be great.
Absolutely. They are coming in now.
Okay.
It helps you stay present in your surroundings. I like this because I had something to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Have to do it more have to do it more, just different. I wasn't worried about counting down.
Ah, now that's interesting. And I see one more.
I liked it.
Okay. Okay, great. So I appreciate all the comments. I like the one that says I didn't have to think about counting down. Yeah, something about counting for me as well that makes me be like, I'm not gonna reach it. I'm not gonna hold it. Like I still feel like I'm not good enough to hold my breath that long. So this one, you're just focusing and breathing on your own. But it's different things that work for different people. And so today, as well as many of our sessions in the spring, will be about finding what works for you. Finding what works for you. I like to provide a smorgasbord of things to select from that are just amazing for you. All right. And so here are some downloadable apps for relaxation. The Calm app. Calm app and Headspace have offered some really good 2020 discounts and freebies. So check those out. I believe on Android and iPhone devices, Apple devices. Timeless, same thing. Relax Melodies, I love. I have on my cell phone and iPad at home. How I've used Relax Melodies is when both of my daughters are born. They say white noise promotes good rest and sleep for the infants. And so we still use white noise, and the oldest is 8. So trust me, it's free. You can create sounds. You can have like rain on a tin roof. You can do white noise. You can have crickets, cricket, 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 just all kind of things. And it's great. And you can piece it together, kind of like a little relaxation DJ, if you will. Oprah and Deepak have, I think, twice a year meditation groups where you can like join and do like the 30-day or the 21-day meditations with them for free. And so being on the lookout for that, I think it's twice a year. And I love them. Love them, love them, love them. Try it. Soul Technologies Online is the one that is located in Baton Rouge. Her name is Dee Dee. She's my holistic wellness coach. She has helped me process a lot of my trauma from Katrina and things that just have gone on in my life. And I absolutely love her. She told me that she knew I needed to sleep in a deeper sleep, right? Just not just like taking naps and waking up, taking naps and waking up. And so her tool for me was to use Yoga Nidra. She has a YouTube channel, Soul Technologies. And on her YouTube, there are free Yoga Nidra voice meditations. And so we're going to feature some of those, Desiree, in the spring. I can't wait to like dive deeper just into yoga and meditation virtually. But I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm excited to do it. And so in these Yoga Nidra exercises, they range from about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. They help get your mind ready for deep sleep. And it helps to just relax your body, your mind, your breath. And then it is the best, deep, relaxing sleep. And it's a meditative process. And so it's amazing. So I want you all to just take a look at that if you can. And I want to make sure that I share that. I also want to share this list for the classroom. And I told you to go back and forth. I want you personally to have things, and then also for your classroom. So if you know anything about social emotional learning and second step, that is provided on the list that Desiree sent to you. It's like a link. Second step is on there. It's a social emotional learning curriculum. Mind Yeti is actually a part of that curriculum now. I think they have free 6-week lessons that can be done virtually for signing up for educators. I believe it's 6 week free lessons, Mind Yeti. All right. It talks about breathing and meditation and how to kind of like set the intention and tone in your classroom. Relax Melodies again. Zen Studio Love Balls are games for kiddos that they can play that's safe. Just kind of like easy on the eye, relaxing, not all the like Fruit Ninjas, like keep your mind going. Zen Studio and Love Balls I really like. Insight Timer reminds you when it's time to meditate. Breathe, Calm, Breathe Kids and our breathing apps. And then Stop, Breathe, and Think is an app for teachers. And so just wanted to make sure I shared that. Love a free resource, and you can never have too many. So I wanted to share. Also wanted to let you see my own two kiddos in my life, because they are just part of the reason I'm trying to move my toolbar around. Desiree, bear with me. Trying to make it shimmy. Let's see. All right. And so this is my Curvy Girl Instagram. So I told you all in the beginning, Curvy Girl, which is the fitness business that my husband and I own, was birthed in the COVID. I'll tell you why. I actually have been a Zumba teacher for over a decade, but I wound up getting coronavirus in March, and it was horrific. And so I had to stop doing everything. And as I got sicker, I could just feel the damage on my lungs. And so my husband was like, we have to just keep you moving. And so what motivates you is dance and fitness. And so a lot of my fitness class members attended and said, we want you to do virtual. And I was like, well, I can't breathe. And they were like, even if it's 10 minutes, we want it. And so we wound up setting up virtual classes and came up with Curvy Girl Dance Fitness in our living room. And in doing that, we had requests from moms and teacher friends that said, we want dancing for adults, and then we also want kid classes. And so we started doing kid classes and just doing a whole bunch of different exercises for just family members inside of our living room. And so you see my two girls here. Every class for 5 or 6 months was free, and we provided to the community or anybody who wanted to participate. And so I just wanted you all to see some of the fun that we had in our living room with kids. Desiree, is that okay if I share this? If I play it, will it work?
It should. So just try it.
Okay, let me know. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Hold on. This one. You can see it?
We can see it. We can't hear it.
Okay.
That's probably a good thing.
It's okay if you can't hear it. And so these two little ones are my daughters, and we are just in the living room having a good time, and just trying to keep the hope and the light and the love spreading, right? So I noticed that my two were becoming withdrawn and sad about not being able to play with other kids. And if you look at the date, it's June 24th, right? So I had already had COVID, 40 days of fever, and extremely sad. But every time we got up to dance, I felt a billion times better just by spending that quality time with them and my husband in the living room. We moved furniture. And so even on the wall, if you look over on the wall to the right, you'll see green strips of paper. That's where they set up their spa. And so they would charge me and my husband $3 of fake money to be able to give us like manicures and pedicures in the house. So just finding creative ways to keep our little ones engaged, and even us. You see me just trying to keep up, y'all. So we had a really good time spending time with each other, still trying to find the silver lining. And this is them teaching their Kid Fit class, and they wanted to match. And so, of course, we were like, yeah, go ahead. And you're Coach Layla and Coach Lennox, and they're jumping up and dancing. And so we would have anywhere from about 15 to 25 kids and families every Wednesday at 4:30, just for Kid Fit, because we knew that there was a need based on parent requests and community friends that said, we need something for our kids to do. You know, they're doing virtual learning, but we still want them to stay active. And so that's some of our kids on the Zoom call, right? And so I just wanted to share that with you all as an example of what I needed to do for my mental health, as well as for the mental health of my little girls. And so I appreciate you letting me share that part with you. And then I also want to show you my website really quick. And I know we're getting close to time. Please feel free to go to curvygirldancefitness.com. I do have self-care downloadable documents. We talked about affirmations and mantras and creating a self-care plan. So as I am new to being a business owner, I'm also incorporating some of my prevention education ideas into Curvy Girl Dance Fitness. I want to be able to share that information with people. Self-care is not selfish. It is extremely important. Please feel free to go to the website, join my mailing list. We have classes available, fun things, and lots of free information. That's where you can download your self-care kit. And we'll have other things coming up on the site. And I'd love to know about your thoughts and experiences or anything that you really enjoyed from today, if you don't mind sharing that. And Desiree, I'd love for them to unmute at this point for me.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Slinging links and give me 1 second.
I know you're doing great. And I have just truly enjoyed you all. I could have gone another 2 hours, but it's a Saturday and you deserve a break the way you want to take it, you know? So
They can now unmute themselves.
okay, please unmute yourself and tell me any thoughts from today's presentation, what you enjoyed, what you'd like more information on. I would love to hear from you. And you can unmute yourself at this point. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And so, Tanessa, we will have more for parents as well as educators in the spring. And so please make sure that you all keep an eye on educatoralexander.com because she has really great trainings. I know you all know that because I'm new. You're not new. You've been coming. But she's going to have some really great things for everyone. And so I can't wait to be a part and to share more with you all. Any questions?
If you sign up for the newsletter on my website, I sing it out so you'll be able to really get the just in case you can't keep an eye on the website. If you sign up for the newsletter, I sing it out once a month, and they have all right at the top. They have all of the upcoming trainings and last call for upcoming trainings. So
yes. Okay, and Monica, yes, I do have classes. Sometimes I have one, I think Monday I have a sub at 5:30. And usually I teach at 5, but I do have them recorded, and I also have classes on the site. Whereas if you're a member, you can see them. And so I also have some that you can take a look at now just to see the kind of flavor we have going there. So I'd love to have you, and please reach out if you'd like more information about the classes. All right.
If I can say something, I will say that when I said it's probably was best that we couldn't hear the music, it's not because the music was inappropriate in any way. Oh. It's because when this goes on YouTube, we can't have music. So that's why I said that. But I do want to tell you, like, sometimes I will go into her class just to hear the music. And she's like, do this. I'm like, no, thank you, but I'll hear the music.
Yeah, so Desiree, I love when Desiree comes because she's like, I'm working, but I'm listening to your music and listening to you all. And so Desiree, that is a testament to how important it is for humans to connect, even if it is virtually. For us to be able to connect through music, through laughter, through smiling, through joy, right? We talked about joy earlier. It is so important for our development and our sustainability to be able to connect. So even if you want to come to my class and sit and listen to the music and do work, you are welcome to do so because, the more the merrier. We're better together. And so in that, please follow us, iCare EBR. iCare is the program that I work with during the day and also assist with their social media. So if you want prevention education for your groups, for your students, access to additional resources, please go ahead and follow, friend, like iCare EBR on these 3 social media platforms. Also, personal for me, join my fitness community for self-care and fitness options. It's not just about being the perfect fit body. It's a holistic approach to wellness. Curvy Girl Dance and Fitness. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. My professional is Curvy Girl Dance Fit, and my personal is at Teachab Griff. You can find me, ask me questions about anything. As we go into November, we are talking about gratitude and also incorporating weight training to a cardio fitness plan. So you want to hop on board with us, we're incorporating weight training, and we're just going to keep this fitness party going because it's November and we want to keep our lungs healthy. right? And build our muscle capacity. So I'd love to have you either professionally, personally, or if you just want to be a teacher friend, I'm here. Love to speak more with you. All right. And I know the evaluation is going out about this time. Any questions or comments? And please also check the chat to make sure that you complete your evaluation.
And I will say, for my people who are here live with us, there are so many awesome things that got thrown in the chat. I try to keep all of them for my YouTube watchers. They'll be in the, underneath the video in the description. But if you want to hold on to this chat, you should see 3 little dots right by file. You can click that and click save chat. So Tanya, you don't have to do that because I'm going
Oh,
to
you
send
see
you
me.
your chat. I see you
Okay. I
looking.
was
I'm
like,
like,
oh,
don't,
again.
you don't have to do it, baby. I'm doing that for you. But everyone else, if you want to save that chat, that's a good thing to do. If you're like, what? I'll let you know again in a second. But I can't thank you enough. Thank you so
Oh,
much for this. Guys, throw some love in this chat. She's going to get a copy
thank
of this.
you.
This was just like, sometimes you hear mindfulness and you think kumbaya,
Mm-hmm.
foo-foo, not practical. And man, you just drove it home and made it very, very practical, not only for ourselves, but for our students, for our loved ones. Talked about so many different arenas when it comes to mindfulness. Just thank you so much. And I just feel
Thank
so
you.
completely blessed and lucky that you're going to be with us once a month next semester. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
insane for
Yes.
free. That's going to be insane.
Yeah,
So thank you
I'm
so,
excited.
so, so much, Tanya, for your time and your energy and your love and your
Thank
peace
you.
and your joy that you shared with all of us today. I
Thank
think
you.
everyone would say the same thing. Just thank you so, so very much.
Thank you. And so this quote, Desiree, I want to share. You owe yourself the love that you so freely give to others. It gives me chills every time I say it out loud, not just read it. And so I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves. And I thank you all so much today for being my self-care team, and you, Desiree, for always being someone who sows into me so much. And I really appreciate it.